Coach, I asked a lot of your players if they noticed the difference between you in your first year and your second year. Most of them said that you were pretty much the same. Can you point to one thing that you changed this year that might have helped your success?
Well, that's it now, right? We've had this quote-unquote dramatic success, which it's not that, maybe not that different, and it's always this one reason. It's because we wore this helmet or that, there's you can point to 1,000 different things, but our whole deal is we want to be better. We want to be better in every single thing we do, and that certainly starts with me. But that's nutrition, that's medicine, it's how we practice, it's everything that we try to evaluate on a daily basis and then on a year-to-year basis. Some of that is schematic changes, some of those are personnel changes, but hopefully we're all better the second go-round.
We have a question on the left.
Stephen Alexander, Portland Tribune. Mark, what did you learn in the previous BCS games while you were the offensive coordinator that you can take into this game and bring into it?
A lot, and we've talked about that and addressed that, particularly with our younger guys who haven't been in these games. It's different, that the game is different. As I said yesterday, the crowd will be jacked for the coin toss. The coin toss will decide the game in a lot of people's minds. The first down, the first just ebb and flow of the game, and it's really just being able to sustain your focus on yourselves and not the guys that are going to look really good in the garnet and gold. They're going to, that's going to be a great looking team, and I think a lot of teams are mesmerized by that and fall back into that in some of their comebacks after giving them a great test early and not being able to sustain that. But the TV timeouts are different. The atmosphere again will be outstanding, but we can't get caught up in that. We'll try to kind of take care of that today when we visit the stadium, take some pictures, be, ooh and ah a little bit, and then just dial it in.
We have a question on the back right.
Coach, Sandy Hooper, USA Today Sports right here. Hey. So we had a little bit of fun with your players this week, asked them what they thought your New Year's resolution should be in terms of coaching. They said that you should hit the gym and work on your biceps. Just wonder if you had any thoughts about that and what you think your New Year's resolution should be in terms of coaching.
I've thought of a lot of things this fall, and that's not one of them. So I need to go back to work. Maybe I just need, what were theirs? I need to gain some weight. Well, I definitely need to work on the biceps, so that's true. And I'm sure my wife will have a couple others that I need to work on. Take out the garbage on time, that kind of stuff.
We have another question on the right.
Hey, Coach. Asher Wildman, WCTV. I was just wondering, you're facing a quarterback that's never lost a game, and obviously Florida State's on this amazing run. Just what are some of the intangibles you've seen that, yes, they've got some lucky bounces, but you're still facing a quarterback who's never lost in college football?
Yeah, I mean, and that lucky bounce thing only goes so far, right? I mean, you don't win 29 games in a row with luck, ever. And they're just unflappable in a lot of ways. They get everybody's best shot. The team that's playing them that week has had their best week of focus, their best week of preparation, trying to dethrone the champs. And to be resilient enough to come back and win all those games is, again, very, very impressive. They just make a ton of plays when it matters the most. And there's times you look at a game like the Virginia game where Virginia's in really good shape and they have two really bad possessions back to back, and it's over. It's over. And so again, focus on the next play. It's all those cliche type deals that go into a successful football game are even more important just because of how good they are. They can score on any play in any phase. It's a pick six, it's a scoop and score, a flip of the field on a punt return for a touch. All those things are huge, and it's again just focusing on us.
We have a question from the front row.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.com. Coach, obviously you got so much more time to prepare for a Rose Bowl game. How do you change the pace of preparation so that you're peaking your team at the right time?
That's the multi-million-dollar question for sure, is just how to be physical enough to still hit and tackle and be able to do those things, to be conditioned, to be great on special teams, which you look at every bowl game and there's something significant in special teams that affects the outcome. And then another thing I think our staff has done a great job of is not being too cute. You can't reinvent the wheel and do something that isn't us. And I'm sure that they're doing the same thing. You fight that urge about this time of year of, okay, what if they put 14 guys in the week A gap and they put 12, they can't do that. It's illegal. And just in trying to just focus on, start from the game time, move it back, and make it as user-friendly for our guys to play fast and free and confident.
Mark Austin Meek with the Register Guard. 6 years ago, you were the offensive coordinator on a Colorado team that was 5-7. Tomorrow, you're going to head coach in the Rose Bowl. Can you just sort of put in perspective how that happened?
I don't know if I can put anything in perspective of exactly how, what you're working toward, but I've been on both sides of it. We've been not very good, and we've been fortunate to be really good. Some places that we've been, and just part of a great program. Our staff, our culture, everything at the university is moving the right direction, and very happy to be on that side of it for sure, and being around a great group of guys and men and women on our program and certainly on our team.
Mark, Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News. You've always seemed so calm and collected, and that's what you preach to the players on the big stage like this. But what about yourself? Have you felt the nerves as during the lead up to this game, and maybe what will you be feeling maybe tomorrow when you take the field?
Game day. It's game day. I think our most important time, in my opinion, is earlier this week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, fall camp, all the things. I lose sleep over Mondays and Tuesdays practice way more so than game day, of making sure we're in the right frame of mind to go out and prepare great. And our guys have bought into that, wholeheartedly. Obviously, we've had one big hiccup this year, have bounced back from that really well, and we've had a great couple weeks of preparation. Now we just gotta go play.
A question right up here.
Mark Dennis Dodd, CBSSports.com. Since you've been to a few of these, can you explain why the Rose Bowl is so special to people that maybe haven't been here before, and then how a playoff might affect it, do you think, in the future?
Well, the playoff aspect of it, to go in reverse order, would certainly affect just the purest of growing up on the West Coast, the Pac 8, 10, 12 versus the Big Ten element. Probably, it's difficult to maintain. And for one of those teams or two of those teams, that's a good thing, depending on the odd year. But it's the granddaddy of them all. The waking up on New Year's Day, and you had the Rose Parade, and in the early mid-afternoon hours, you had the Rose Bowl, and Dick Enberg, Keith Jackson, the field, the usually a sun-filled stadium. Those visions and those sounds are something that are incredibly special and unique to this game.
Ivan Mazel, ESPN.com. Mark, I feel like not every bowl game since you've been here, and you've been including with Chip, but the majority of them, the offense has begun slowly. Is it have to do with the layoff at all? And if that is so, the fact that there's only been 3 weeks of a layoff this year instead of 5 in a BCS system, has that helped?
Well, I think the first and most important factor in that is you're playing against somebody really good, and they're very talented as a coaching staff, very deep and talented as a coaching staff, very deep and talented on the field, and they don't just, get out of the way and let you score. And so that I think is the biggest problem. It's natural to have a little anxiety up front, and it's I would say it's not. There are less moving parts to a successful defensive play than a successful offensive play, and that partially goes into it. But then that's where, again, you just have to work that into your preparation. Try to create that, but you cannot. You can't simulate the aura and the presence that the Rose Bowl whole scenario, situation, atmosphere is, in your indoor facility. And so we'll go out and we'll attack.
Coach Bill Bender, Sporting News. The word unique gets tossed around with your program a lot, so my question would be, what's unique about Oregon to you?
How long do we have? There's a lot of things that we think make it special. I think the people, first and foremost. Everybody talks about Mr. and Mrs. Knight and their financial contribution, but their personal, just blood, sweat, and tears, guts contributions to the entire university. They're literally immeasurable, and then you go beyond that to the simplest thing in terms of we're different is speaking as a native Oregonian. There's not a ton of talent in the state of Oregon, so we kind of have to go everywhere. And that the ascension probably started a little bit with the helmets and the uniforms and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully we've we've moved beyond that. You know, we talk constantly about the guys in the uniforms, not the uniforms. Don't give you points. If they do, we'd love that if we could look into that. But being around there on a daily basis, it's all about the people. And we can't. Coach Fisher, he could probably drive 2 or 3 hours in a radius around his school, and they'd put together a pretty good ball club. We have to go a little bit further, and that's a tremendous strength in our program.
Bill Roden again with the New York Times. What I meant with my original question is, will this tournament, the entire tournament, as a coach, intensify recruiting, the importance of talent, which has always been important, but now I'm wondering if, because of this new setup, it will even intensify it.
Yep. Well, I apologize for not answering your question correctly earlier. Yeah. 3 things when you look at why young, prospective student athletes choose a place are distance from home, which is a challenge for us, winning, and then having a plan for them. Having a plan for them. We think we have a pretty good hold on 2 of those 3. The third one you can't affect. We're not going to move the campus, and so. Being successful, being out there, publicizing the great things about the University of Oregon, certainly can do nothing but help those efforts of at least getting in those doors. And now we just need to make sure it's the right guy coming into our program, and he's not just excited about the Hatfield-Dowling complex. He's not just excited about the Nike relationship. He wants to come here and truly maximize his existence. I think pressure's relative. I think I think you have pressure to have a tremendous practice today. There's a ton of pressure on that, and I think all that other stuff, the external stuff, the lights, camera, action, element of it, that's great. You want to be a part of those kind of games.
Okay, we have another question from the back.
Mark Warren Williamson, again, Oregon Duck Football News. Didn't really get a chance to talk to you this week about this, but Southern Oregon won the NAIA. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
So maybe talk about that and what that means to you as a former player, and maybe it might be a good omen.
We'll take it. If any sort of mojo, we'll take. Southern Oregon had an unbelievable year, a tremendous season for those guys, and to finish in the style that they did, basically dominating the semifinal and the championship game was awesome to watch, and got a ton of friends down there that are still on that staff, and have talked with Coach Howard and his staff somewhat extensively about ball, and they do a great job. We can learn a lot of from a lot of things from those guys.